What's going on, ladies and gents? It is your boy Gamma here with the lovely
Juju.
All right, guys, I'm a little under the weather myself. Last time it was Juju, now it's kind of me. I have it's funny because my voice always sounds like this, but I have a scratchy throat, so it's a little raspier than normal, I guess. But anyways, we're here.
You sound good.
We really want to talk to you guys about Simone Biles. Yeah, she's been making headlines, man, for different reasons. And we're going to try our best to cover that.
Right.
If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any videos. Like the video and be sure to leave a comment and let us know what you think about what we will discuss.
Yes.
Again, Simone Biles. If you haven't heard already, she withdrew from the Olympics. Yes, she just said enough is enough. A lot has been going on with her. She made a statement, and she backed out. Yeah. And from what I heard, I'm not sure if everything is over as far as the gymnastics part of it, but I do know that her team went on to win silver. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Right. And again, I don't know if they have different, things they do, like if it's all clumped up together, because, honestly, I haven't been keeping up, but they did get silver. And initially, my thought was this.
What's that?
If she stuck around, they might have got bronze or not even won anything. They probably wouldn't have won a medal at all.
Now, why you say that?
Simone Biles, by far, is one of the most talented gymnasts ever.
Oh, yes.
However, recently, she hasn't been really performing up to par, right?
Right.
Not only has she not been herself, she's been even less than, as far as the other competitors. Like, she's been bouncing off the platforms and not making certain landings.
Yeah.
And staggering all over the place. Like, she really and clearly hasn't been herself.
Yeah.
Now,
something's up.
Something's up. In fact, Juju, do you recall what she said in her statement? Like the official press release / public statement she made herself. What were some of the things that stuck out to you?
I mean, overall, what stuck out was her drawing attention to her mental state, right? Her mind, her clarity.
Right.
And that is to me very huge because it's not like it's an injury. It's nothing physical, so to speak. It's all mental.
Yeah.
So her mental health, right?
Right.
And that is something I feel like a lot of people, in sports, they don't even take really much into consideration when it comes to the performance of an athlete. It's more of like the physical, like what they're able to do, what they're able to accomplish, right?
Exactly. Because we're talking about the Olympics. This is literally the world stage when it comes to performance, athleticism, sports. We call baseball the World Series, but we just play here in America. That's
I know, yeah.
But this is a real international championship where you're playing against the best of the best in the world. So for someone to come out and say, "Listen, I'm not stable enough to continue.
Right.
I need clarity. I need help." Now, initially, I don't think anyone should have any issues with that, right?
Right.
So it's kind of weird because what we've noticed is that there's been almost a divide. Like, there are people who have really applauded her, confidence, her courageousness, her bravery to admit, because she could have easily blamed it on so many other things. Let's think about that.
Yeah.
Look,
a stomach flu.
She could have had, she could have said she got COVID. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, there's so many things she could have said that would have been difficult for any of us to confirm and really find out. So she really said, listen, I'm not clear-minded. I'm overwhelmed, mental health. I need help. And I'm going to do that. I can't continue to perform. Yeah. And so that's why a lot of people are saying that's very brave. On the flip side, there are those, as you stated, that view athletes almost like machines.
Yes.
Go ahead and perform because you look like you're ready to. You're chiseled. You have negative body fat. Just go out there and perform. A lot of people, unfortunately, look at athletes in that way.
And
so they have little to no sympathy at all, no empathy. They're just like, yo, that's not bravery. She's a coward. She backed out because she knew she wasn't able to keep up, blah, blah, blah.
Or she was having like a tough day. Like,
right.
They expect people in her, on her status to just push it through despite the pressure.
Right. Despite anything they're going through, a lot of people expect these types of athletes to just persevere regardless.
With what you just said there brings to mind all what she has been through, what she has opened up and shared to us, the public. For example, remember the doctor, right?
Right.
Yeah, that basically abused a lot of the competitors over the years.
The girls,
the girls.
It was a lot of misconduct. I think he got like hundreds of years.
Yeah, like 150 or 170 plus years.
Yeah.
And she, basically endured that since her early childhood years to her teens and I think even young adult years. And so you're dealing with the gravity of that, right? Like just let that sit. Yeah. And settle with anyone, And so you have that. And then you also have just the physical, like, beating that these gymnasts put their bodies through, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, let alone, like, personal family affairs. And, I mean, the list goes on and on and on in terms of all what she has endured. So
absolutely.
It's a lot.
There's so much that when you're put up on this kind of pedestal, right? Mm-hmm. Like in the public arena on this level, because again, she's not just an athlete, local, regional, national. She is internationally known. When you think of the Olympics, it doesn't matter what country you're from. If you're a female gymnast, you know who she is.
Oh, yeah.
You are worried about her.
Right.
You know what I mean? In most cases, to be honest, whoever won gold, I don't even know who won it, but this is like their best case scenario.
I think it was Russia.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what they dream of. Like the star player gets sick, gets in an accident, injury, something, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying this to say there's so much light on this girl, right? The pressure is immeasurable. You can't even imagine how much she has to continue to push through, right?
Oh my goodness.
Day in and day out. And it's so funny, like when I heard some of the people who were complaining about her,
right?
Like, oh man, she's a coward. She backed out. She should have just kept pushing. A lot of these guys and girls would call off if they stubbed their toe, right? They would like seriously
talk about it.
They would like take a week off if they found out their boyfriend or girlfriend was messing around. You know what I mean? Like the kind of things that these athletes have to ignore, put to the side and deal with later. And it's sad. That's kind of why when I was looking at some of the comments on different platforms that spoke about this, it was weird to me. I'm like, wait a minute. How could you guys? It's one thing to not want to applaud for her. I get that.
Right.
There's always going to be that segment of society that don't know how to celebrate anything.
That's true.
Whether you're succeeding and progressing, they just don't care.
Right.
But it's another thing to demonize someone. It's like, okay, you don't have to be like looking at what she did as a heroic, course of action or anything. I get that. But to act like she did something wrong, that's crazy.
Yeah, like
man.
She's soft, she's a quitter.
Right, like they're calling her names and taking advantage of this opportunity to kind of just, run her name through the mud. That's ridiculous in my opinion. I don't think anyone should look at what she did as a negative thing. Like I said, they probably would have got bronze or nothing had she stayed.
And she said that too, She said that she made that decision with her team that, look, it's best for me to fall back because I don't want to affect you guys.
Exactly.
Because all with what she's going on mentally, it would have absolutely may have knocked them completely out of those three positions. Right.
And so I don't think you should anyone really should question her integrity when it comes to something like this.
Absolutely not.
Like whether you choose to look at what she did as brave or not, that's fine. But no one should be looking at her as a bad person. Because the problem is, especially in this country, right? A lot of people suffer silently when it comes to mental issues. They wonder why they rage so much. They wonder why they go from being incredibly happy to just down in the dumps. And they just can't figure out why. And most people are just not honest with themselves.
No.
They're like, I'll be fine. I'm okay. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm okay. And so for someone to come out, not only admit that she's going through something, but do it publicly, Never should you look down on that.
Knowing,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and knowing how many people are looking to her.
Exactly.
Right? That pressure. Could you
like
imagine?
I said, it's easy to make up so many other things. You know, doctors may have co-signed or even encouraged her not to speak on mental health. They could have said, hey, listen, we'll make this look good for you. You're not performing as well as you should. We'll say you had an injury in the locker room. We'll say you had a flu, contagious. We don't know if it's COVID. It's so many other ways this could have been spun. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Mental health is not something you play with. You don't spin that to get out of something else. No one ever says, hey, you know what? I had like episode of paranoia, and that's why I didn't come to work. Because once you go down that road, you open up the floodgates for a lot of other discussions and a lot of other assumptions.
Right.
So it has to be, it's a very sensitive topic, and it's something that you have to be really honest with.
Yeah.
So, the other thing I want to say is, again, when I was looking at some of the other platforms, and I'm talking major platforms,
like
not other content creators, but ESPN, SportsCenter, etc., whoever was covering it, I noticed a lot of the gripe people had wasn't even at Simone. They were mad at maybe how some of those platforms handled other people. And that was interesting. It seemed like they felt like maybe some basketball players or other athletes had like a little stint of mental issues, and then they weren't performing well.
Right.
And, those platforms really let them have it. Like, no, man, you need to get it together. And then when Simone Biles came out, they are incredibly understanding, compassionate, and sensitive to her. So I think that's a separate issue. We're not going to really go into that now, but I wanted to at least put that out there. Not everyone is against her per se. Right. Remember, public perception. Yeah. They may just feel like, hey, why is she being received so much better than, this guy or this other person? So that could be part of the issue. So we're looking forward to hearing from you guys. Please leave a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are and why. Thanks again for listening. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and hit the bell so you don't miss another video just like this. Also, leave a comment below. Share the video. Do all that good stuff. Thank you again. And until next time, escape the Matrix.